Hello and welcome to this very special episode of Explained by NewsX. I am Pia and today we will be discussing the emergency. Now, nearly 5 decades ago, India's democracy was plunged into darkness. The emergency was imposed at midnight on 25th June 1975. For the very first time, an Indian government suspended civil rights of citizens, censored the freedom of the press, arrested students, academicians, writers, journalists, as well as all those who opposed the government. The 21-month-long period tarnished the ideal of free and fair democratic process in independent India. We've all heard tales of the draconian crackdown that took place back then. But viewers, have you ever wondered what prompted Indira Gandhi to declare the emergency? To understand that, we must first understand her meteoric rise in the political sphere. Hailing from a family that was instrumental in India's independence movement, Indira Gandhi rose to prominence in politics in 1966. After Lal Bahadur Shastri's sudden death in Tashkent in January that year, the Congress was plagued with the question of who would lead the party. Although grassroots leader Morarji Desai emerged as a strong contender, Indira Gandhi defeated him with the backing of Congress stalwart K. Kamraj. She assumed the Congress party's parliamentary leadership and went on to succeed Shastri as Prime Minister. Now, under her leadership, the Congress secured an easy victory in the 1967 general elections. This emboldened Indira Gandhi to further consolidate her position in the party by outmaneuvering her rivals over the next 2 years. But this did not go down very well with the likes of seasoned veterans like Neelam Sanjeev Reddy, S. Nijalingappa, K. Kamraj, S. K. Patil and Morarji Desai. Now, Indira Gandhi was thus expelled from the Congress in 1969 for violating party discipline. She formed the Congress R and battled it out with the syndicate. But she emerged victorious in the 1971 general elections. She solidified her position and her faction of the Congress as the real Congress. So viewers, we've taken a look at Indira Gandhi's ascent. But what changed in a mere 4 years after this? Indira Gandhi's ascent was marked by several unilateral decisions. These contended the Supreme Court's rulings, whether on amending the constitution or the abolition of the Privy Purse. Her challenge to the judiciary reached yet another point with the landmark case of Nanda Bharti case. After the court's ruling, she appointed A.N. Ray as the Chief Justice of India. This was done by superseding 3 other senior judges who ruled against her during the case. But what perhaps triggered the emergency was the electoral malpractice case against her. Raj Narayan, who had been defeated in the 1971 parliamentary election by Indira Gandhi, lodged cases of election fraud and use of state machinery for election purposes. In fact, the Allahabad High Court had found her guilty on the charge of misuse of government machinery for her election campaign. The court had declared her election null and void and unseated her from her seat in the Lok Sabha. The court also banned her from contesting any election for an additional 6 years. Although Indira Gandhi challenged this verdict, the Apex Court upheld the High Court's judgment on 24 June 1975. The Supreme Court ordered all privileges she received as a member of Parliament to be stopped and that she be debarred from voting. Merely a day later, Indira Gandhi requested President Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed to proclaim a state of emergency. Within 3 hours, the electricity to all major newspapers was cut and the political opposition was arrested. The proposal was sent without discussion with the Union Cabinet, who only learnt it and ratified it the next morning. Now, following 21 months were the blot in India's independent history. All those who witnessed dissent against Indira Gandhi were then jailed. Many, in fact, were subject to psychological and brutal physical torture as well. Now, viewers, on your screens is India's former Prime Minister, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Do you know he was arrested during the emergency? Right there is a newspaper clipping of the Indian Herald. The headline reads, JP, Morarji, Ashok Mehta and Vajpayee arrested. These clippings are dated 26th June 1975, a day after the emergency was declared. Thus, Indira Gandhi wasted no time putting her most staunch opponents, including her old rival in the Congress, behind bars. Of these leaders, viewers, only one is alive today to tell his tale. That is LK Advani, PM Modi's guru. Meanwhile, HD Deve Gowda, Lalu Prasad Yadav, MK Stalin, Ravi Shankar Prasad, all these are familiar names to you in the contemporary political realm. They were all arrested during the emergency as well. Viewers, we all know Rajnath Singh. He is the defense minister today, but he was also arrested during the emergency. He was in fact 24 years old back then. Many may not know that while in jail, his mother suffered a brain hemorrhage and was admitted in a hospital for 27 days. Yet, he did not get parole. He could not attend her funeral. Now, viewers, let's in fact take a moment to recount what several other people faced, many of whom still remain unknown in the annals of history. One such person is Chokkalinga Chittibabu, also referred to as Mayor Chittibabu. He was a member of parliament from the DMK. He died at the age of 41 due to torture in the Madras Central Prison. All those imprisoned here were subject to countless atrocities to the point where kicking was considered commonplace. Viewers, this was the very same prison where MK Stalin was kept as well. Now, Mayor Chittibabu is said to have withstood the blows that were about to fall onto Stalin, thereby saving his life. Now, viewers, this little child you see on the screen right in the center is P. Rajan. Little did he know that he would suffer a very tragic fate in his life. P. Rajan was a student of the Regional Engineering College in Calicut. He was picked up by the police on the 1st of March 1976 along with his fellow student Joseph Jolly. What happened to him that fateful day is spine-chilling. He was brutally tortured in police custody. In fact, a heavy wooden log was repeatedly rolled over his body. In fact, his dead body was disposed of that very day and his remains were never recovered. Now, Rajan's mother had become mentally unstable from this tragedy, and his father lost all of his money in his quest to find him, but to no avail. Now, viewers, on your screens is Lawrence Fernandes. He was the brother of former Defence Minister of India, George Fernandes. Might also know George Fernandes as being the leader of the All India Railways Union. He in fact led the All India Railway strike in 1974. This is a picture of him being arrested due to that. Now, Lawrence Fernandes was arrested from his residence in Bengaluru on 1st May 1976, ostensibly for interrogation related to a habeas corpus plea. He was picked up by the police at 9 p.m. and was tortured until 3 a.m. the next day. He was subjected to vulgar abuse, endured severe beatings with clubs, and was threatened with being killed by a train. In fact, 5 clubs broke during the torture. He was then kept in solitary confinement under extremely unhygienic conditions for the next 19 days. During this, he was frequently denied food as well. On 21st May, Lawrence's mother visited him in prison upon being informed by a lawyer. She described finding him in a state that was barely alive, unable to move without assistance, with his left side crippled and both left leg and hand swollen. You can see that image on your screens. He'd lost about 20 kilograms in 20 days. He survived the ordeal and went on to live another 30 years, but was mentally and physically wrecked. Viewers, I've told you what happened to 3 victims. There are countless others who suffered just as much. According to a report by Justice J.C. Shah on emergency excesses, nearly 110,000 people were arrested. From Jodhpur to Guwahati and Calicut to Delhi, the painful wounds of the emergency have left countless scars. These still linger. India has matured as a democracy since then. With keeping alive the memory of what took place, the Indian polity has learnt lessons of safeguarding the democratic ethos that it was founded on. That's all for now on Xplained by NewsX. Stay tuned for more.